as I was going through the 25, 30 different meetings I've had in the last couple days and thinking through some of the key themes coming out of those conversations, it dawned upon me that we needed a good acronym to summarize them. And I was thinking of the fact that they all started with the letter A. Obviously, I'll start with the obvious one, which is AI, a theme that is coming up in pretty much every conversation, and the potential impact that it can have on our broader industry, affecting everything from creative to how content is being consumed, the platforms it's being consumed on, the types of publishers that it's being consumed on, and how it can provide an additional level of automation in the technology or the different technologies in the industry. So that's been one of the first A's and one of the most obvious ones, an area that Teads has been leaned into for quite some time already. And it feels like, unlike this time last year when a lot of the industry was talking about NFTs and Web3, right? If you remember
how quickly we forget.
Right, exactly. This theme, even though it's probably at the height of the hype cycle, feels like one that is immensely powerful in ways that that one was not. And I think this will be a theme that we continue to talk about in years to come.
To your point, I think I'm a social science research guy and literally did my dissertation a long time ago on the factors causing humans to adopt new media methods as things they want to interact with. And an incredibly powerful one was the use of language, human-like language. And I think there are many companies that have been working with AI for a while, but the ChatGPT, the ability to talk to one in text messages and to give it like real natural language instructions really flipped people's understanding of what it could do. And so I think that is definitely A number one. So what's A number two?
A number two is attention. Attention has been a theme that we've been talking about in Cannes for a few years and feels like it's gotten to a level of critical mass in terms of its adoption and its appetite from the buy side. It feels like such an obvious development in the industry, right? We have a 100-year-old saying that 50% of advertising works, 50% doesn't work. We're trying to figure out which is which. And starting with attention seems like a good place to begin to figure out which is the advertising that's working.
And do you believe there are functional ways to measure that attention within your inventory?
Yeah, we have been partnering with some of the leading providers of attention measurement that look both at eye tracking technology and then predictive models based on previous data sets in order to effectively measure attention and do that at scale. And we have recently integrated one of those technologies into our buy-side interface so that our agency and advertiser partners can basically measure attention on the fly for any single one of their campaigns. And I think we're going to continue to see attention drive more adoption or garner more adoption as a currency, because it is not just a good output metric. Frankly, it's a good proxy for outcomes, for not just media outcomes, but for business outcomes. And with the deprecation of certain data signals, the industry is certainly in need of additional ways to predict and measure the impact that their media is having. And attention is a great one that we're adopting as an industry.
We said 5 A's. Can you give us the last 3 A's?
Yeah, absolutely. So Addressability, obviously a big topic with Google confirming their timeline in 2024. I think there is a renewed sense of urgency from both the buy side and the sell side in continuing to explore and get comfortable with alternative ways of making media addressable in the face of lost signals.
And that's certainly also true on the linear side, as we heard on one of the panels this morning.
Indeed. I would add, obviously, advanced TV or connected TV as the fourth A.
Let's go with advanced.
Major theme, obviously in Cannes this year, and a lot of conversations. I think increasingly also for advertisers outside of the U.S. I think advertisers in the U.S. have been very focused on this topic for some time. We're seeing it become a more important topic globally. And last but not least, in the series of 5As, accountability. There is obviously more pressure on everyone in the ecosystem to do more with less and to demonstrate the effectiveness of where media dollars are getting spent and driving towards performance results. I think a lot of the supply chain backlog issues have gotten resolved, particularly in the automotive and the consumer electronics space. And so while those industries were focused on brand building for the last couple of years because they didn't have necessarily enough product to sell, they're now focused on performance and driving leads and sales. And that obviously comes down to a lot of accountability.
Awesome.